Just imagine if a living person could be created by taking parts from many dead human bodies. How strange would that be? That's exactly what these medical students did in this story, and amazingly, they were successful in this endeavor. The story beautifully illustrates the profound impact this could have on humanity. Remember, this is just a movie, so let's enjoy the explanation. The creation of life and death belongs solely to the Creator. At the beginning of the movie, we see a hunchbacked man who couldn't stand straight due to a problem with his back. Because of this, he worked in a circus. He had been working there since childhood and had spent most of his life there. A beautiful girl named Lorelei also worked there, and the hunchbacked man liked her very much. But because of his condition, he couldn't express his feelings to her. Due to the large hunch on his back, he was named Hansberg. He was actually a strangely genius person. He never attended school formally, but his knowledge of the human body was so vast that perhaps even doctors didn't know some of the things he did. Whenever he had time, he would read many books on medical science and the human body. But his circus colleagues were unaware of his talent. In reality, he was doing all this just to fix his own physical condition. One day, during a circus performance, Lorelei falls from a rope and plummets to the ground from a great height. She is severely injured. Many people rush to save her, including Hansberg. A man in the crowd says that a bone is broken in such a way that she can't breathe. Then, Hansberg skillfully applies pressure on the broken bone, causing her to revive. Witnessing this, the man says, "You are a genius. You are wasting your precious time in this circus. The whole world needs you desperately." Hansberg asks for his name. The man replies that his name is Victor Frankenstein. Meanwhile, the other circus colleagues, burning with jealousy, destroy all his books and research documents and lock him in a cage. Later, Victor arrives and tries to free him, believing Hansberg is destined for greater things. While attempting the escape, some circus people see them and try to stop them. The circus people don't want Hansberg to leave because he attracted large crowds, which meant more money for the team. During the chase, one of Hansberg's circus friends dies. Somehow the two manage to escape and come to the city, where Victor takes him to his house, a place where he conducts various research. Victor then drains all the contaminated fluid from Hansberg's back and attaches a belt to his waist. This causes Hansberg immense pain, but the good news is that he can now stand up straight. Victor tells him he will fully recover soon. Victor gives him a new name, Igor. This was actually the name of Victor's former roommate. Victor himself was a medical student searching for a way to create a living human using dead body parts, and he was very close to this discovery. Meanwhile, Igor grooms himself and changes his appearance, making him look quite handsome. He knew Lorelei was admitted to a nearby hospital and went to see her. There, he finds her still unconscious. He then writes down some instructions for a nurse, explaining when to administer certain medicines. He tells the nurse that when Lorelei regains consciousness, she should be told that a friend came to see her. Meanwhile, the case of the murder at the circus lands on the desk of a detective. The circus owner tells him that the perpetrator took another circus member with him, and that this person has a hunchback. This detective's name is Turpin. He was already handling a case about stolen medicine organs and starts to suspect a connection between the two cases. Wanted posters for both of them are distributed throughout the city, which worries Hansberg. But Victor assures him there's no need to worry, as the person the police are looking for couldn't stand straight, whereas Igor now stands upright and can walk normally, so no one will recognize him. Victor shows Igor a sample of his research. He tries to animate two eyes using electricity. When a candle is held in front of them, the eyes react. Igor is amazed, but points out that the nerves are not in the correct position. This confirms Victor's estimation of Igor's knowledge. Although Victor himself was a genius, he couldn't work properly without Igor. They start working together, procuring animal organs for experiments. The next evening, Victor takes Igor to a party where they see Lorelei. Igor follows her and confirms it's really her. Igor calls out to her, and Lorelei looks at him with an unfamiliar gaze, saddening Igor. However, Lorelei feels she has seen him somewhere before. She approaches Igor, recognizes him, hugs him, and thanks him from the bottom of her heart for saving her life. But he says his name is Igor, the name Victor gave him, and explains that Victor brought him out of the circus. He then introduces Victor to Lorelei. Victor tells her all about his research. Lorelei is utterly astonished, unable to comprehend how life can be instilled in a dead body. After spending a long time chatting, they return home. Victor shows Igor the body of a chimpanzee he created using parts from various animals. Victor says he will use electricity to bring it to life. He turns on the power, and amazingly, it starts moving. This is the first time anyone has revived a dead animal in this way. Both are stunned by this success. They decide to demonstrate this experiment in front of everyone at the medical college the next day to prove that life can be given after death. Igor invites Lorelai to come so she can see it with her own eyes. In the next scene, they perform the experiment in front of the medical college. The first attempt fails, and everyone laughs at them. Many people start to leave, but Victor's classmate, Finnegan, and Lorelai stay. The two of them give the chimpanzee another shock, and this time, it comes to life and starts breathing. The students and Lorelai present are completely amazed. However, the chimpanzee tries to escape, so they are forced to kill it to prevent it from harming anyone. Witnessing this, Finnegan encourages Victor to continue his research and suggests applying it to a human body. Finnegan is very wealthy, so helping Victor is no issue for him. Initially, Igor is against it, but Victor convinces him, and since Victor gave him a new life, Igor cannot refuse him. Later, Detective Turpin arrives and questions Igor about Victor. He asks Igor if he remembers the circus, implying Turpin has figured out Igor's identity. Igor pretends not to know anything. Victor arrives, and Turpin questions him about the college experiment. Victor admits to it and informs him the chimpanzee died. Turpin, being a religious man, tells Victor he cannot bring dead creatures back to life because God never permitted such things, and then leaves. In the next scene, Igor and Lorelai are walking. Lorelai tells him that what Victor is doing is wrong and that Igor should make him understand, but she also says that since she is now healthy, it's thanks to Victor, so she must help him. Later, Victor's father arrives at his house and informs him that he has been expelled from college for the experiment. Enraged, his father hits him and says he is a disgrace to the Frankenstein family. The next day, Victor is working on his research to create a human. Igor arrives and shares his opinion. That night, they plan to create a human body with 2 hearts and 4 lungs, which would be much larger than an ordinary human. While working, Victor frequently checks a watch. Igor asks him why. Victor explains that he had an older brother who died, and both he and his father blame themselves and live with this regret. The next day, while Victor is working, Igor arrives and asks for permission to go out to meet Lorelai. Victor allows it. They meet, have a great time together, and confess their love for each other. When Igor returns, he finds the police breaking down Victor's door. Igor enters through another door and tells Victor they must flee immediately, or the police will arrest him. While leaving, Victor accidentally drops his watch, which Igor picks up. At this moment, Igor sees a corpse with missing eyes. Victor reveals that the corpse is actually Igor's, the person after whom he named him. Just then, the detective arrives and orders them to surrender. A fight breaks out between Victor and the detective, and unfortunately, the detective's hand gets destroyed in a machine. They both then flee to Finnegan's house. He suggests sending them to Scotland. Finnegan is the son of a very wealthy man, so money is no object for him. However, Igor is mentally unprepared to go, especially after seeing the eyeless corpse. Victor repeatedly tries to take Igor with him, but Igor refuses. Consequently, Victor goes to Scotland alone. Later, Finnegan tells Igor that the corpse he saw was indeed the original Igor, who was a drug addict and died of an overdose. He says, "You know too much about me now. From today, you are forbidden from going outside." Actually, Finnegan was planning to make a lot of money from Victor's invention and was just using Victor. Igor is completely shocked by this revelation. Finnegan and his men then tie up Igor and throw him into the water, but Igor somehow manages to save himself, escapes, and goes to Lorelai. He tells her everything and says Victor's life is in danger, so they must save him at any cost, meaning he must go there. Lorelai says she wants to go with him. Meanwhile, Turpin goes to his chief, gets a prosthetic hand attached, and requests a raid on Finnegan's property. But since the chief didn't believe in these absurd experiments, he takes Turpin off the case. Meanwhile, Victor has made significant progress in his experiment on a human body. He has created a human body with 2 hearts and 4 lungs. All that remains is to animate it with electricity. In the meantime, Igor and Lorelai arrive. They see Finnegan's men standing guard. Lorelai pretends to be lost to distract them, allowing Igor to slip away and reach Victor. When Lorelai is returning to her car, the detective spots her. He then goes to Victor's location. Igor tries hard to convince Victor that Finnegan is planning to kill him, and will do so right after this experiment is complete. He also reveals that Finnegan tried to drown him. Victor thinks Igor is lying and doesn't believe him. Igor gives Victor his brother's watch, which had Henry engraved on it. It turns out that the human human body Victor is trying to animate contains some of Henry's parts. So Victor says, "I don't care about anything. I don't care what Finnegan will do to me, but I must bring my brother back to life no matter what." Then, a balloon is released into the sky to capture lightning. The electricity will travel from the balloon to the corpse. However, after a while, the balloon bursts due to overload, causing massive destruction. Many people present die, including Finnegan, but Victor himself survives. Detective Turpin arrives and orders Victor to surrender. At that moment, Victor sees that the corpse has fully come to life. Victor is overjoyed and calls out to it as his brother, but the creature doesn't respond. Victor realizes this is not his brother, it's merely a living corpse. Turpin shoots at the creature. Enraged, the creature kills Turpin. Victor realizes that in trying to recreate his brother, he has brought a monster to life. Igor arrives, and together they manage to kill the monster. In the final scene, we see that Igor and Lorelei have gotten married. Igor receives a letter which reads, "Truly, I was wrong, but next time, we two will fix everything again. Until then, you both live a happy and peaceful life. Enjoy life." With this, the movie ends. Friends' life and death belong solely to the creator. Please do not interpret the story from a religious perspective. I have only explained the story. Thank you very much for staying with me for so long.